Great to see you again, Mr. Henderson.
Great work.
Is Pearl okay?
I wish.
Tell me about it. What have you been up to since we last met?
Well, there was that little, but we can't talk about that. You know.
I do? I do.
Why?
Top secret.
Need to know, Nico. Dwayne is, snoozer.
Don't you mean a sleeper?
No way, honey. A snoozer's at least 2 pay grades up from a sleep. Anyway, I don't believe I've had the pleasure.
Nicole Collar.
Well, how's about that? So this is the beautiful Nico. No wonder you've been hiding her away from me, Georgie boy.
Gosh,
It's lovely to finally meet you. George has taught me so much.
Oh, call me Dwayne, my dear. And let me assure you of one thing. Everything you've heard is quite
Dwayne was loud, large, and short-sighted, but boy, was he a charmer. Is there anything we can do for...
I sure as hell hope. She's been planning and researching this trip for... And Santa Cova Chapel here was the cherry on the cake. Not a thing she don't know about this place. She's Santa Cova's very own walking encyclopedia.
So what brings you to Santa Cova?
Pearl's idea from... Ever since the unfortunate car accident back home, she's been scouring those pilgrims. Gotta be full of wonder. Got to have penance potential.
Well, I'm sure this place will be very...
If the chapel's not what she expected, how about...
Hot dog, no. That place is for tourists, not...
You said she expected a spiritual...
No, that's what the... Pilgrimages, little monk fellas.
Smells, bells, and heavenly lights.
Yeah, that's what the lady wanted. Oh, excuse... There.
Pearl could be a mine of information if we could just cheer her up. The view over the valley. It was a spectacularly a fire extinguisher with all these... A battered oil drum. The scaffolding was a little... Everything rattled. It made a surprisingly dulcet noise. It produced a dull sound when I rapped my knuckle. It produced a dull sound. It produced a dull sound. My mother always said cleanliness is next to godliness. Never in a month of... Potpourri, handmade, Grandma's favorite. I sprayed Brett onto my experimental potpourri. One sniff would kill a man for sure. A modern plaster altar had been built against the rock. An empty, coffee-stained mug. I put the supercharged potpourri in the mug. Sniffing the potpourri reminded me of Henri. Boy, that felt like a long time ago. I lit the candles on the candelabra. A statue of the Madonna and Child watched over the chapel. That was I decided to exhaust my other options before I started smashing. That wouldn't make any. That was. I rested the side mirror precariously on the candelabra. I needed a better. That would be point. Decorating the candelabra with yarn was always fun at Christmas, but clearly. I rested the side mirror precariously on the candelabra. I secured the mirror in place with some yarn. That should do the trick. Now that was something. The light from the candelabra spilled over the Black Madonna like waves of spiritual goodness in candle form. A mug of supercharged potpourri. There was a recess in the wall with a Latin word, puritas, purity. I'd seen that word before somewhere. Nope, I needed to try something else. The wall here, it looked like the chapel had been built right into it. It was a wall of rock. It was a wall of rock. The hammer produced a promising sound. B, if I wasn't mistaken.
What are you up to?
Look, I made a Churchenspiel. A. That sounded like an A. That didn't sound right. Wrong. Well, that was fun. I poured the turpentine into the paint can. The hammer produced a promising sound. Well, that was fun. That was almost a great... The hammer produced a... B. An F sharp. A. No, that wasn't quite right. G. B. F sharp. Wrong. No. G. It was rickety scaffolding cluttered with tools and B. F sharp. G. A. That wasn't it. G. B. F sharp. G. Wrong. That wasn't it. G. B. F sharp. G. B. F sharp. Oops. G. G. B. F sharp. G. B. A. F sharp. Oh, I was so close. G. B. F sharp. G. B. A. G. I had it. It was the tune Dwayne was humming.
George, that's Ave Maria. Let me have a go.
Wow, you really nailed that, Nico.
Yep, this mop really is pretty special. Leave this to me.
Hi, Dwayne.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, that tune you were whistling earlier.
No, it's Schubert's Ave Maria. In our courting days, it was Pearl's favorite.
Did you see the Black Madonna?
Oh, you betcha. She's a little, though Pearl's in too much of a state to eat.
What can you tell me?
Well, Pearl, she knows. She seems Ave Maria. The way the light falls. Maybe this place isn't so bad.
How you holding up?
Me? Oh, Pearl. Oh, excuse. There, dear.
Candles could be heavenly. But Pearl had already claimed this little oasis of spirituality as her own. I needed something more striking to get her attention. It was a stone carved praying to the Madonna. I couldn't see anything unusual. I lit the scented shavings. A sweet aroma started to fill the room.
Pumpkin? Oh my!
What?
The sound of angels, the lights of heaven, the smell of piety, and
Yes.
the Madonna, I do believe. Tears. She's crying, Dwayne. The Madonna's crying. little Timmy. Wrong. Forgive me, poor Timmy.
Oh, Pearl, my precious.
Well, now that I feel my soul, we can get...
Just another
Pearl was back to her youth. Mrs. Hen,
Joe.
how you?
Oh, I have just seen a...
I'm sure it is. What can you tell me about Santa?
Well, dear, it was built directly into... It survived the Napoleonic Wars, but the chapel is still standing today.
Or a restoration.
What was that, dear?
Yes, a miracle. What can you tell me about the statue?
I read that the Black Madonna has been here since the... She's called. Some say the original was moved to the cathedral. But Dwayne and I know that's just a...
We sure do.
Still, keeping busy?
Like the man said, George, that old and the pieces.
Guess it's your job to pick.
Well, somebody has to do it.
I enjoyed talking to Dwayne, but I was rarely any the wiser afterwards. So, Pearl, what have you been up?
Well, George,
Oh, really?
a spiritual...
Wow.
It is.
What's so
It's an... I've spent the last year researching...
I don't
No, only that for 1,000 years.
Pearl, does this mean anything to you?
Oh, nothing, dear. Apart from the obvious Gnostic connotations, of course.
What?
You know, the Dominicans. All those Gnostic saints. Doubting Thomas, Judas, and you see the woman in the red cloak? The infamous Mary Magdalene herself.
A lady in red.
That's enough now, Dwayne. You know my feelings about her.
Pearl knew her Gnostic onions, all right.
Then there's the Ouroboros, of course.
Something special about it?
Well, if I remember rightly, there was an Ouroboros right here in this chapel. Back in the 30s and 40s, the chapel was renovated. The workmen uncovered new amongst...
But that's amazing.
Oh, it's not there now.
Oh.
It was considered blasphemous. Sweetheart, I think it's time for us. The road to enlightenment, wait.
'Tis the pilgrim's lot.
It was so nice. And meet your girl.
We're not...
Take this radio, Nico. Never know when you might need it. Keep an eye on our boy.
Poor little lost.
I'm not...
Don't worry, this little lamb's in safe hands. Bon voyage.
Bye-bye, dear.
See ya. Nico, don't even start.
Little lamb?
Let's focus on the task in hand, shall we? Okay, this Ouroboros that Pearl mentioned.
You're right. We need to find it.
It was in... I already had a candle. I already had a candle. The view. We couldn't leave now, not when we were so close to finding the tower. The view. The scent of incense, divine. That was never. That wouldn't make it. That was. That wouldn't work. I thought I'd heard a faint click. Ex igne puritas. Through fire, purity. The Black Madonna was clearly the focal point. That was. I hoped this was the right thing to do. Hey, Nico, I found the Ouroboros.
So what now?
Pearl was right. I knew it. Another secret passageway.
Amazing, George. How did you do it?
Just another case of the old Stobart magic, I guess, Nico. It looks a little dark in there.
Are you scared, George?
Of course not. Just worried about you tripping, that's all. Whoa, this is one dark cave.
It's the door that worries me, George.
Well, I'm sure the door will open again if we give it a minute. No need to panic. Now we panic. Help! I gotta say, Nico, you're pretty calm about this.
Traveling with you, George? If I panicked every time a door shut behind us, probably forever, well...
You're right. What was I thinking? You see if you can get the door open, and I'll go check out the dark, evil smelling. Fumbling around in the dark wasn't going to be fun. But heck, I'd spent a lifetime doing it, so what was new? It was a small, round object made of fabric with a musty smell. It was stone, with a recess in it and, an oily liquid in it. There was some kind of thin twine in the middle of it, too. It felt cold and smooth, with some indentations along the surface. It was a flat surface. I threatened the imaginary thing with the hammer. I felt better instantly. There was one response I could rely on for things that go bump in the night: a hammer. I felt better instantly. Throwing that at a figment of my imagination, it wasn't the time to take up extreme black. I needed a better idea. It wasn't the time to take up it. It wasn't the time. That would be pointless. I could feel something smooth and spherical with clumps of what felt like fur or hair. For a moment, I imagined falling forever in the dark. But it was just my imagination running wild. The floor was solid. I threatened the imaginary thing with the hammer. I felt better instantly. There was one response I could rely on for things that go bump in the night: a hammer. I felt better instantly. I had defeated the imaginary hazards before me using only the power of my mind. Langham had better watch out. It was a small, round object made of fabric with a musty smell. My guess was it was a hat. It was a short-haired. I guess I could feel something smooth and spherical with clumps of what... I didn't want to use my last match until I That was all... That was... I suspected Trevor would love sticky holes, but I didn't want to lose him in the dark. That was all... That was... That was... That... It was a flat surface. It felt cold and smooth, with some indentations along the... My guess was it was a hat. I touched the object again. There was a fingertip-sized hole. I stuck my finger in. It was slightly sticky. That wouldn't... That... That... It wasn't the time to... That would... I needed to save the match. That was... I wondered what that was. I wondered what that was. It was some kind of stuffed animal. It was some kind of... I couldn't tell what it was in the... It wasn't the time to take up... Hey,
Hi.
any luck opening?
No. If you find some light, we can search the rest of the...
Nico was checking out the door. If she needed help... That wouldn't have worked. That was almost... That would be... It was cold to the touch and felt like carved rock. Dunking a cookie in a small sticky hole would just... The match might have helped, but it was the only one I had. I didn't want to use my last match until I absolutely needed to. That was... I needed to save the match. I only had one shot. That... The wall felt like it had something carved into it. The match might have helped, but it wasn't the time to... I wondered what that was. Nope. That wouldn't work. That was almost... That wasn't... It felt cold and smooth, like worn stone.